Jim, Chris, and Drive Time Smile Radio.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race to you. These days are
Me? Can't hear me, can you? Can you hear me?
Goodbye, gray sky, hello blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. Feels so right, it can't be wrong. Rocking and rolling all week long. Sunday, Monday,
Happy days.
Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday,
Happy days. Saturday. What a day. Growing all week with you. Welcome to the Rich and a Little Bit of Chris and a Side of Lee show. Unfortunately, there's just me and Chris because Lee's something's popped up, so he's not able to make it today. So I hope everything's. His blood pressure. Yeah, hope everything's all right, Lee. How are you, Chris?
I'm all right, and you? Good week?
Yeah, not bad. Been quite busy, been quite productive.
Been out in the sun?
Yeah, I've been out in garden and doing bits, plodding about.
Happy base, tan, 3rd-degree burns.
Working,
Nice t-shirt tan.
looking on, yeah.
You off to Butcher's Arms.
Getting guns out. How are you anyway? How's your week been, kid?
All right, yeah, not bad. Sunstroke. I think I got sunstroke. I was shivering. With that or I've been mixing my medication while drinking heavily. Oh, you know what? As soon as the sun's out, I'll put my vest on.
Good lad.
Put it on. Other week I went for my eye beards doing because obviously in lockdown and stuff like that, I've let myself go a little. Anyway, so she's plucking him, is Liz, and she went, "Do you like going out in the sun?" I went, "Yeah, of course." She says, "Well, I'd put some on your face because you're getting sunspots and you're going to look old." So
Sunspots?
yeah, it's just because I used to look like Des O'Connor, dinner back in the day. I used to love a good 6-minute burn dinner under UV, plus welding in my underpants. So. Anyway, so obviously I've taken to this into concept. I've now bought some moisturiser with SPF that you put on once a day. It's now part of my regimen.
I've been doing that for ages.
Have you?
Yeah, bit of...
You got an advert for it. Why didn't you tell me? I'd have waited to save myself a tenner.
Well, it's got SPF 20 in. Bit of
Oh,
moisturiser.
mine's SPF 50.
Oh, right, well.
Now you come to think of it, your face is like my ass, very soft and chubby. How long you been can't believe you didn't share that beauty tea.
Ages. Well, it's not mine. It's the current Mrs. Harrison's that I use. It's all like...
To be fair though, she loves the sun, does your lass, doesn't she?
Oh, I'm not joking. Do you know what makes me sick though, Chris? She can literally go out 10 minutes and bronzed. I go from a light blue to a red, pink, brownish, and then back to light blue again.
To be fair, you carry on working outside though, you're going to have one of them all-round weathered tans, aren't you?
Yeah, face like leather.
Thing is, have you got mark on legs yet where your riggers have been?
Yeah, where they've rubbed me.
You can't beat that, can you?
Oh, we
I
got...
nearly put you forward for a job the other day. Somebody was looking for a labourer, but wasn't stupid. So I went halfway through typing Richard Harrison, and I saw it last line. I just deleted it.
Who were looking for a labourer?
Mark, chappie were looking for a labourer to do some concreting. I thought that's right up your street in this weather. It's warm though, isn't it?
It's gorgeous. It's red hot in here, as I'm sure you can imagine. Because obviously
You
when
had, swing fitted yet in garden?
No, not yet. No, I'm
Them
gonna
late summer nights.
I'm gonna have to take it out of attic for that.
You won't fall downstairs and break your neck though, will you?
No, doing my best. Right then, kid. So because whoa, slow
What time's
down.
Rebekah coming on, Rich?
Rebecca, yeah. This week's featured artist is Rebekah Ryan. She was on the X Factor. I think she got to the 6-chair challenge.
Rich, I've been reading her blog and bio, and I tell you something. She's been around. Let me reword that slide.
Yeah.
She's been in the game. No, again, wrong. Been in the business a while, hasn't she?
Yeah. She's definitely earned her apprenticeship, but she's going to be talking about a social enterprise that she's doing. She's got her own label and this, that, and the other. She's got loads of stuff going on. We're going to be playing.
Excellent.
We're going to be playing some of her new tracks, but she's been going from the age, I think she said something about age of 14, doing the clubs and circuit and this, that and the other, and supporting Brian Poole and the Tremolos and the pop group Marmalade. And she also won a grand on Des O'Connor. Talking to Des O'Connor, his Pot of Gold show. Do you remember that, the Pot of Gold, back in the day?
No, Rich. So 19. So she's 40. So that's 30 years ago. That made us. Well, we were going out, weren't we? Now 14. But yeah, I've read a bio, and it's an interesting read, isn't it?
Yeah, she's very. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to. I spoke to her a couple of times. She's lovely. Can't wait to get her on. So what I'm going to do, if it's all right with you, Chris, I'm going to play the Seratones Into the Sky from last week, which is Alan Leach's daughter's group.
How good were they last week?
Brilliant. Yeah. Did you see the message I sent on? He loved being on. So he said he's passed his number on to Jenny. So right, without further ado,
no job, no mask. Never forget that.
Yeah, power. We were down in that there London. I'll tell you more about that.
Have you downloaded their album though, Instant Pleasures?
No, but I don't need to. I can listen to it. I don't.
Even when you're out and about though,
I can. Yeah, I can. Because I just use my data on my phone. I found password for the studio as well, Chris. You'd be pleased to know.
Well, what it under so?
Yeah. Right, I'm going to play Into the Sky by the Seratones. You listen to Rich and a little bit of Chris without Lee, live on Smile Radio. Don't go away, we'll be right back after this.
You're listening to
Welcome back to the Rich and a Bit of Chris show without Lee, live on Smart Radio. You still
Hey,
there?
that intro gets different every week and more difficult for you, doesn't
I know
it?
it does.
times?
We need to sit down and when we have our next team meeting at Popular.
You know this new promo photo we're having?
Yeah.
It really needs not to get us in an headlock.
Do you know what time he left last week?
I dread to think.
12 o'clock, I think it was.
Did you have to feed him?
What do you? No, he doesn't eat, does he? Eating's
In case he
cheap.
come over and get him.
No. I went to put him in a taxi, and it was funny. I got a taxi the other night, and I just said he put taxi driver on phone, and while they were having a burner in car. And he says, I said, did you pick my mate up from other night? He goes, oh, Lee. Yeah, sound lad. First name basis. Yeah, once met, never forgotten. So, yeah, coming up with Rebekah Ryan.
He didn't have that many bases. Stay well, 12 o'clock.
Oh, we have got some stuff in fridge.
Oh, also, and tell your wife that when I wave it, I won't wave him back. Why does she drive like she's pulling a rickshaw in Beijing? She can't see, no, can she?
She realised who you are when she got home, I think. She said, I think I've just passed Chris.
Brilliant. She's all right running over something, isn't she? So, did you tell you've been to London this week?
Yeah, we went down to that there London this week to see Sam and his girlfriend. That was really, really nice.
Oh, how was London?
It was lovely. It was lovely. Fortunately, we missed out there was a big protest, wasn't there? I think somewhere around London.
For?
I think to do with all the masks and vaccines and all
God.
that. So fortunately, we missed it.
That then, didn't you?
Yeah, we dodged a bullet there, definitely. But
Couple of scoops?
not a massive. No, not really. Just had a nice bite to eat and made a nice walk.
Where's you living? Whereabouts in London?
Oh God, I should know this. Because we stayed at Notting Hill. Because every time we go down, we try and stay somewhere where we haven't been before. Do you know what I mean?
It's a little bit bijou and upper class, isn't it? He's not your rich.
Yeah, well, she uses this thing called Secret Escapes where we get.
Ooh, talking about. You remember that woman on Secret Escapes with long dark hair? On advert. Shh. Secret Escapes.
Oh yes.
You must.
Yeah. I do remember. Yes.
She were on my list.
Right. And what list is that then, Chris?
Well, you know, if you could get away with something. Like an all pass.
Oh, good lad. Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, we've got a few people.
You've got one drafted up though, and you must have.
Emma Willis. You used to do.
That's a right list. One. You've not really given it much thought, have you?
Well, I've got a couple, but Denise Van Outen back in the day, and you remember Wendy James, Transvision Vamp.
Yeah. Have you googled what she looks like now, by any chance?
Yeah.
No, I'm just because I am.
No,
I don't want to shatter my teenage dream.
Don't bother. Stay as it is. He'd be slightly disappointed. Anyway,
Oof.
I know.
Not
Anyway,
like us who's age well with beauty, are we? Well, age well.
yeah, I'm like a barrel. Laughs. Right then. So hopefully we've got Rebekah waiting in the wings, coming on in the next 15 minutes. Like you say, she was on X Factor. Oh God, I think when was it? 2016, I think it was. But anyway, she got unfortunately.
I think that first year at chairs. Not that I'm a big X Factor fan.
I can't remember.
I can remember them sitting in chairs, but you know.
Yeah, and you had to give up your chair.
She'll probably have some stories to tell about that, won't she?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out what she thinks about Simon, and because it were Ozzy's wife, Sharon, wasn't it? She were on, and
it's a completely different process, isn't it? Of becoming a pop star, is that? That's purely based down on people voting for you, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think it's quite. I think surely there's a lot of editing that goes on in all of that, but anyway, hopefully, well, it depends on it because sometimes they've got to sign NDAs and all that kind of carry on, aren't they? So, but
not 6 years after the event, Rich.
You'd like to think
what I
that.
mean?
So, what you got coming up this week? What are you doing this weekend? Out and out.
finished all painting, which this is very mundane. And then, it's championship shootout for girls' footy tomorrow. Winner takes all. Whoever wins tomorrow wins league. We've got to win to win league of Durka. And then after that, it's either going to be tears on my own from myself in car, crashing car, and Ruby consoling me. We're stopping off and we're having as much as you can eat at a Greg's drive-through, celebrate the dinner. And then after that, just a quiet weekend. What about you?
The ladies are going out to bottomless brunch tomorrow into Leeds, I think. So I don't know.
You mean Marie, Zoe, and Lily?
Yeah, and I think Julie Sykes.
Well, good luck then. It needs to be bottomless, doesn't it, with them?
Yeah.
Is Eric taking you under his wing?
I don't know. I've not spoken to him. I don't know what he's doing. This will be just me. I'll be able to play naked tig on my own as usual.
Well, we can ask your neighbours to join in.
The ones that don't talk to me. Right, I'm going to break for a song. We're going to put Pavilion on, and that's the other son of Alan, his band, and we're going to play Death Kiss. So hopefully coming on in the next 10 minutes we will have Rachel.
I thought Jeannie was a girl.
Jean was a girl, and then his lad plays...
He plays in Serotonin. I thought Jeannie played in Death Kiss.
Have I got it wrong way around?
Yeah,
I think
Jeannie plays in Death Kiss, and his other son plays in Serotonin.
Yeah, no, it's Pavilion, isn't it? The band. The song's called Death Kiss.
Death Kiss, yeah.
So that's Jean, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry,
We've really worked on this, haven't we?
We've better chances. Right then, we're going to kick it off. We're not kick it off. We're going to start with another song. After
that was belted last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He were quick, wasn't he?
I fell out with him after that. Anyway, this is Death Kiss by Pavilion, live on Smart Radio. We're right back after this.
Scruffy looking boy in a crumpled suit and tie. Dip my toes in water as she begins to die. Head in the clouds until daybreak, picking daisies from grass for her namesake. Take me to this wondrous place where 7 pence gets you lemonade. A seaside resort kind of holiday. Drive around town in your dad's old coupe. She sings along with the radio, throws out her arms in the summer glow. Wind hits her bombs on the highway. She blows a kiss in the sweet red beret. Well, I feel like saying I'm sorry now for dressing Death's Kiss as a Hollywood smile. Daisy takes a dive to the bottom of the lake, sits atop a throne on a mountain out in space. The look in her eye asks, you miss me? Remember the day when she cried out, kiss me, and I just could not refuse. She sings along with the radio, throws out her arms in the summer glow. Wind hits her palms on the highway. She blows a kiss in her sweet red beret. I feel like saying I'm sorry now for dressing Death's Kiss as a Hollywood smile.
Welcome back to the Rich and a Little Bit of Chris show. Without Lee, we've hopefully got Rebekah joining us, I think.
Oh, she's joined us.
Are you there, Rebekah?
Hey,
How are you?
Very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've been for a lovely sauna.
Have you?
Oh, I have, yeah. I needed to sweat my sins out from the weekend.
in this weather.
You went for a sauna in the hottest time we've had this year.
Yeah.
Thing is, if Chris had said that, I'd have added something to it, something to do with like a happy ending or something like that. But anyway, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute. Or did you?
To be fair, I was the only person in there. So as bad as that sounds, I was the only person in there. It was lovely. Lovely.
Fantastic.
How are you? You all right? How's it going?
We're good. Yeah, we're all good. We're all good. Enjoying the sunshine.
I know, thank God.
I know.
It's been a long time coming, isn't it?
Yeah, so
It has taken its time, though, hasn't it?
Yeah. But I was just saying, was it this year in lockdown? Well, summer started in like the end of March, didn't it? Last year, it was glorious. Which is probably a good thing because can you imagine if we were all in our houses? So at least it was because we were all in the garden getting drunk.
I don't know, but just imagine that. We just that winter lockdown we've just had. Now bad that was.
Oh.
That was it was terrible.
It's funny actually because I was saying that lockdown in January hit me harder mentally than any of the previous ones, and I think it's because we were so built up, weren't we? We had that day where we could get together at Christmas, the family, and I think we were all so looking forward to it being the end of it. And then I think when that announcement came, and when was it? January the 4th or something like that. It was just like, oh,
yeah, because
not only that, January anyway is
it's not the best month, is it?
It's the most depressing month in the year anyway, isn't it? So yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
It was. I remember everybody, doing all hands on, 2020 can stick it up your ass, and then come 2021, we're back in lockdown.
4 days later, Boris is sticking it to us again.
Yeah, bless him.
Here we go again.
Oh,
But I can't believe. Do you know what? I can't believe how quick it's gone this year.
I know. June already.
It just feels like it's flying. I think it's like going to be Christmas again before we know it.
Yeah, it's our birthday soon, isn't it, Chris?
Away now, Rebecca. Let's get summer out of the way. Euros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't forget, it's just to let you know, it's Chris's birthday on 18th of July, and mine's on 24th of August. Just if you want to make a note of it, Rebecca. If you want to send any sign.
And I'm the youngest of the two. We're not twins.
I know you wouldn't think it that he's the youngest, would you?
The silver fox.
Look at him. Oh, he's fit.
I'm also growing a mullet.
Why?
Like my guy.
Why?
A mullet.
Why? Yeah.
Because my stylist said it's good. It's in fashion.
It's back in.
Yeah, you'd be looking like one of them Aussie rugby players.
But the only other person I've seen with a mullet, right, was some kid with a flat pan face, leant outside at wall, picking tabs out of a bin. So I'm rethinking the whole look.
Do you know what? I'll never forget my mum giving me a mullet. I had and do you remember a mullet? But not only was it a mullet, but it was a Kevin Keegan. So it was like I had the back of it permed, and I had straight to there. In the back perm.
Severe.
Honest to God, desperate.
Was it severe?
It was horrendous.
That sounds like cruelty.
It is. I think all those haircuts of the 80s were cruel.
Were you picked on at school as a kid?
Well, it was for a bit. Yes, it was. I was. They used to call me the FA Cup.
Oh.
They did, yeah, because of my ears. Well, but I've grown into them. I've grown into my ears now.
You know your ears and your nose never stop growing.
They don't look as big, but they were, and they were a bit wingy. They were a bit wingy when I was a kid.
We've got a couple of mates who are like that, aren't we? We've got Edgy and we've got Hopper. They've both got like FA Cup, but they've not grown into theirs.
Yeah, they're still flying for England.
Yeah. So come on, tell us all about you, because I mean, I know for those people, for our listeners and people on Facebook and all the social medias, all information of Rebekah we've got on our website, smileradio.co/the featured artist. So we've just been touching on when you met Des O'Connor, who'd been to Tantastic before they did his show, because he was mahogany, wasn't he?
He was.
He loved her tan, didn't he?
He loves it.
Rebekah, you've been about a bit, haven't you? And I don't mean
me. What?
Yeah, I mean, starting at the age of 14, you've sort of really been in and about it for quite a while, haven't you?
Yeah, I started. I think because my dad was a musician. He still is, bless him. He's hanging on to it for dear life, still gigging. And I got into it very early. I think I did my first gig with my dad when I was about 12 years old. You know, singing all the old classics. And then just kind of went from there really. So I mean, back, you know, when I was a kid, and certainly when I started in the industry, it was kind of what you did to do the kind of pub circuit. Now it's looked on as being a bit of a, you know, all the turns here, you know, without the turn, who's the turn, who's the turn. But you know, it was for me that it was a way of really learning your craft, you know, because those audiences were probably the hardest audiences to play to. They were more interested in the bingo than listening to the music. Do you know what I mean? So I used to see it as a real challenge and I still do actually, even when I gig now, because I do the odd gig. I don't do it a lot, to be honest with you, but that's mainly because of, at the minute I've been asked to do a few gigs, but it's mainly because of the restrictions. If people can't dance, then I'm not interested.
No.
You know what I mean? That's what we do it for. We do it to see that kind of enjoyment. But as I said, it was where I learnt my craft, and that kind of, I always see it as a challenge if people are not interested, or you know, you get a bit of attitude from the crowd, and I just think, yeah, I'll have you, give it time, and I'll have it, and I do, and I always manage to get them on side by the end, and that's kind of what keeps me going. Is
that down to your character as well, though? In your personality?
Do you know what? I don't know if it's about that. I think generally, girls, female artists struggle. It's a lot harder to break a female artist than it is to break a male artist for obvious reasons, you know. So that's always been pretty much ingrained in my mindset that, you know, I've got to work harder. I remember being on the Boyzone tour, for example, and I was the only girl on the Boyzone tour, and there was me and there was Peter Andre, obviously the Boyzone lads, and then it was a young artist called Kavanagh, who was a great artist back then. And
has he died now, Kavanagh?
Don't say that. You'll start me off.
Oh, no, him that did thingy, wasn't it? Jeans advert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slightly different.
Both had big crisps back in there, so.
No, I think Kavanagh's still alive and well, hopefully. But it was, you know, you got to imagine being a young female artist and predominantly playing to young girls who just wanted to throw knickers and scream at handsome lads. So
that happens to me when I got to Aldi.
Don't know, it's not work. I used to work at Aldi. You should try to knickers.
It's the future. That and B&M is the future.
It's the future.
I'm not kidding. Carry on, as you were. Where were you? Sorry, before I would.
But yeah, that was a challenge for me. It's always kind of been the same. I've always thought to myself, I've got to work harder to get. I mean, I'm a woman's woman, but to get women on side, you know.
Yeah.
And I think I just think it's generally more difficult for artists. So going back to whether it's my character or not, I just think it's a fact of life, Chris. A fact of life.
Yeah.
So, as a young artist, then touching on this, did you ever encounter inappropriate sexual behaviour within the business? Yes,
I did. Yes, many times, and I've often thought of naming and shaming the people that did that. But yeah, it was rife. It was rife, and also affected me quite badly. I was very much a tomboy. I still am a tomboy. You know, I'm not. I've never been very. I don't know. I've never really been aware of my sexuality. You know, I just haven't. I'm like, yeah, you know, I was just a bit of a mad one, you know. So it was quite. I had to learn. I remember my dad saying to me, well, you're 17 years old now, you're in the business, you know, men are going to fancy you, get used to it kind of thing. And I thought, well, listen, there's one thing in men fancying me, but then older men putting me into positions where I felt uncomfortable. And, you know, I mean, I could divulge a story. I'm not going to at this point because I'm not quite sure if I'm comfortable. But it was definitely in the business. You were made to feel that, you know, if you didn't kind of comply, then you know,
You're not
you
going to
weren't
get
kind of
anywhere.
100%, yeah, really bad.
It's a
yeah.
coercive nature, then, isn't it, to play on the minds of young female artists if they're going to make it. I mean, the Weinstein thing sort of brought it all to light, and it, you know, the people that
Absolutely.
spoke out then, it found a lot of people to have a voice. But
100%.
do you wish you'd spoken out earlier then?
Do you know what? There's been I've kind of struggled with it because there's been times where I really wish I had. I was always made to feel that these people were were in power. So, you know, almost, you know, that kind of thing of, you know, when you don't rock the boat, that saying of, you know, never kick a person on the way up because you might need them on the way down kind of thing. So there was always that in the back of my head that if I outed these people or said something and I ever thought that I did want to get back into the industry, you know, would it tarnish me and my character? Because the music industry is very much a boys' club. It's to be honest with you, today, it's great because there are a lot more women in powerful positions in the music industry than there ever has been before. But it's still very much a boys' club, and they tend to stick together. And you know, it's that kind of thing of, well, you know, is, you know, the question of, well, is that Ray? You know, is feeling a woman's bottom, you know, is that bad? You know, you see what I mean? It's just the levels of it's like, well, actually, it's all bad, because if a woman doesn't want you to do something, you don't do it. You know, don't make a woman feel that it's part of life for what you have to
speak about the music industry being a boys' club, but don't you think now with such sexual diversification and many of the artists being openly pansexual, transsexual, you know, it makes it more accessible for more people, and hopefully the misogyny of it all will diminish in the business?
I don't think misogyny will ever disappear, unfortunately. I think what we're into kind of the fourth wave feminist movement now, aren't we? So it's and as I said, you know, it's certainly getting better. But I don't think that misogyny will ever completely disappear, because I just think it's really to do with getting women into those powerful positions. That's the only way misogyny will disappear. Until then, which, you know, I mean, look at Reading Festival, for example. I don't know if you remember that Reading, where you look at the music industry and how many male acts are playing at these festivals compared to female acts. You know, do you know what I mean? The balance is completely still off. There are a number of festivals that are really trying to kind of do their bit to kind of, you know, change that balance, but it's heavy male loaded. All these festivals are, you know, why is that? I don't understand why. I really don't understand why that is.
Would you think? I mean, there has been some great women bands and women acts, but for some reason, there's no longevity in them.
I know, yeah.
You know, and I mean, people harp on about Stones. I mean, the 70-year-old, yeah, at some point the music will not be that relevant. So, but why isn't there, in your opinion, been a band or a group or a single female artist that's actually stood the test of time and had that longevity? Because even Whitney Houston, even though she was great, she had her moment in time, and I'm not using that as a pun, because
it's a good pun. It's actually it's a good pun, but yeah, she did.
But so you can see what I'm getting at, though, okay? You know, she had that, you know, when she was in The Bodyguard, and then all started failing away. She still had a great voice, that never went, but her popularity and her relevance, it diminished. I mean, like Taylor Swift and stuff like that, they come, they peak, and then it's like that. But there's nobody that gets up and holds it.
I think they do. I think a lot of the problem is that when female artists are initially broken into the marketplace, they have very little control or say over how they want to be positioned and where they need to be positioned in the market. They have very little say in what they, you know, how they look, how they sound, you know, their voice. They're not really allowed to kind of speak out about who they really are. So what I think you find is when artists, you know, all of a sudden change, let's say 5 years down the line, they decide to go, hang on a minute, I've now got a bit of power. I want to be me. and they do what they want to do. And I think whether that works out for them musically or I don't think they really care. I just think they finally get to a point where they go, I want to be free. And I think that's what Whitney did. I think Whitney was, as we've seen, and God knows how many documentaries, you can tell that she was very much controlled and manipulated into this kind of white, kind of a pop scene. And she was black, she was a proud black woman. So I think when she, later on when she got into really started doing proper R&B records, people her fan base, which were predominantly white, went, what? So I do think it's a little bit about that. I mean, I'm not saying I've got all the answers I have, because they're just theories that I have. I don't know. But
have you seen that Netflix program about Taylor Swift?
I have, and I really warmed to
You know what? I mean, I'm not a big Taylor Swift
I've not
fan.
seen that.
But my daughter is, right? And we're on. I come home from work, she's watching it, and I end up sitting down and watching it. And then when she was talking to her parents, she got real upset about wanting to speak out. Yeah. And I was saying, "Oh, don't, because there'll be death threats." But she still did it. To be fair,
did it. Exactly, and fair play.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of her music's, she's had one or two belters, and you think, all right. But the rest of it, it's not for me. But as a person, that really changed my perspective of her. I mean, I still won't go out and buy her album up the back of it. No way. And if my daughter puts it on car when we're jamming at football, I'll say, skip it.
I say that in my house, but I am definitely outnumbered. I can say skip it, and they just look at me as if I've weed them at Christmas. It don't go anywhere. I have no say or any clout in my house whatsoever. Only time I'm in charge is when they're out. And I walk around and going, yeah, I'm the boss now.
That's it. I'm the man.
Yeah, I'm the man. Right then, I think let's break for a quick song. So I want you can tell me we've got Just Can't Learn to Say, You Lift Me Up, Swept Away, and Just a Little Bit of Love. Which one should we go with?
Do you know what? Let's start with Swept Away, and let's kind of do let's start with You Lift Me Up. We'll start with the hip first.
Right then. So come on, Rebekah, introduce it for me. Come on, do my job.
Okay, you're listening to Smart Radio. This is Rebekah Ryan, and this was my first hit. It's called You Lift Me Up.
We'll be right back after this, he says. Come on. What's going on with it? Just keep talking. Just keep talking. Just keep talking.
I should have said debut hit there. When I said first hit, it's like I've had many hits. So yeah, I need to kind of
But how many have you had then? Because
no, just the one. Just the one. Just the one. It's a shame because I think without kind of sounding like I kind of blame the system, but there's a lot of record company politics that goes on that. It's like any business. Music is a business, and it was hard for me. It was a hard pill to swallow, that. So if they don't get it all kind of parts right, if they don't get the marketing right, or they don't, if there's a delay in releasing it because of problems, it can knock.
How did they market you then? If you don't mind me asking.
I think they marketed me way too sexually, if I'm honest with you. And I don't think that helped. I certainly don't think it helped with getting kind of videos, and that they allowed stories to come out stories that were false, by the way. These weren't true stories. But for example, I'll never forget this double page spread in was it the Daily Star? And I was horrified. They basically said that I would slept with Liam Gallagher. I've never even met Liam Gallagher. I'd slept with. I think everything was kind of sexually driven, and I'd slept with. They made me out to be the slapper of the record industry.
So this sexualizing it, they built a backstory, a false backstory.
A false backstory, yeah.
Which I suppose. How old were you then?
17.
So you've no control over that, have you?
None at all.
And another question: did that label stick, or was it just a pack? The people that know you're thinking that's not right.
Obviously the people that knew me, like my mum and my family, but when you're in the music industry, you don't really know people. You don't really, it's
Did Liam Gallagher ever ring you up and say, "That's rubbish, innit, Rebecca"?
yeah, who are you? But I wouldn't mind meeting you. No, he didn't. He didn't. Is it the pop version you're playing of You Lift Me Up?
I've got Dave Austin, Rebecca Ryan, You Lift Me Up, NRG mix. But the one that you sent me, but the one that I've got for some reason, it's not. At least they know we're live. That's one good thing, isn't it?
Why don't you play
This record's actually been mixed, Rebecca, as well. There's two versions to it.
Oh God, yeah, there was loads of versions of it. There was loads. There was like high energy kind of
Zumba workout type stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. But for me, the pop classic remix by K. It was obviously K Class produced it. And K Class are very, very. They still are extremely talented boys. So they that K Class mix for me is the best, and that's the one that I sent you. But are you having trouble, Richard?
Yeah, the thing is, my other laptop's just frozen, which has got all the playlists, everything that I've got lined up, and it needs a reboot. So I'm gonna have to just keep chatting to yourself.
You talked about your image and stuff like that, and obviously the stuff that's on the website. I printed it off because I read the blurb and I'll sort of ask questions. Photos, and this is a compliment, is nowhere near a reflection of what the sexualized image that you had when you were 17. They're very, very classy, and the painting in a good light. I mean, I suppose you can select what you use, but they are good photos and they are good promo shoots, though.
Yeah, they were. I worked with some amazing photographers, but it was really more about, I think, just allowing. It was like everybody says that this is again, it's an age-old phrase in the music industry that all press is good press. All press is good press. What a load of
Barry White.
What a load. It can be bad press, can be extremely damaging. So you have to be very, very careful. If you're launching somebody, what story and what narrative you want to kind of put out there, because that's, this is the first time people see somebody. So, get it right. And I think because they were lacking in the press department and they were struggling with marketing, don't ask me why. They allowed things to come out or that shouldn't have come out, and I don't think that supported where they were trying to, because they wanted to, in their heads, I was the next Dina Carroll. They wanted me to compete with the likes of Dina Carroll at that time. Dina Carroll would never have had a story in the press about her like that. Louise Nerding, who was also probably my it's all right. I'm sitting in my proper living room and I've got the neighbours going past and I'm on the phone to you and I'm like, but yeah, like Louise Nerding, for example, even though she was sexualized to a point, because she already was the girl next door from Maternal. She was, the one everybody loved, the sweet girl, and Louise is lovely. It was okay for her to be sexualized to some extent because people already trusted her. They already liked her. But for me, they sexualized me too soon instead of really trying to kind of, help me make a connection with the female population, really, because that's who was buying records at the time.
But it's not a good precedence to set, then, is it? You're a 17-year-old girl, and allegedly, according to the Daily Star, you're highly sexualised, and some of your fans, if depending which might never have had sex. And
Exactly.
Stuff like, you know what I mean? So
exactly. And I think what you've hit the nail on the head. I think you've got to be so careful. You're especially when you're in the pop scene, because predominantly the people that are buying your records, I think different to You Lift Me Up, because You Lift Me Up was a club hit, but they kind of just got it all slightly wrong, because they wanted the kids to buy my records, but then sexualized me. Then I was doing dance music, and the kids weren't clubbing. So it's like, you know, they got it all so wrong, and I didn't have a say in anything. And then when I finally, it was a very difficult time for me because I had to sit on this record deal for 3 years. They wouldn't let me gig. I had opportunities to be on television. They wouldn't let me do them because I was an actress as well. They literally shut my career down. And that was the first time I went into a major depression. And I actually had a bit of a Britney Spears moment, to be honest with you. That's why I can relate to Britney so much, is that I felt like I was being controlled that much. You know, if I went to the record label and said I wanted to, you know, I've got an opportunity, can I do it? No, you can't do it. Okay, I want to cut my hair off. Can I cut my hair off? No, you can't. It doesn't suit your age. It doesn't suit what we're trying to do. So everything was controlled. And in the end, I did cut my hair off. I thought, do you know what? I want short hair. I'm a tomboy. I'm going to start writing my own music, which I started actually at MCA. And then I went to them with a new angle and a new sound, and said, look, can we, you know, this isn't working. You're not gonna release this album. This isn't working. Can I be me? They were like, no, we're dropping you. So that was it, and that pretty much was it. They got it wrong, but they didn't give me then chance to kind of to.
Yeah. But it was their mistake, not yours, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But you find, I think it's just very difficult for a young. I was very disillusioned then by the music industry. And honestly, when I came off MCA, I thought to myself, I was never going to sing again. That was in my head. I thought, that's it. I'm done. I don't want to be part of this industry anymore. Luckily, I at that time, I met a man who was George Michael's producer, who was Johnny Douglas. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have continued in the music industry at all. But he obviously, you know, he saw something in me. He said, Rebekah, you've got to write. Just write. You're a great writer. Start writing. Start being you. And that's what I did. And I spent two years then doing that, 2 or 3 years.
Have you written for anybody else?
I haven't, no. I mean, I started writing songs a few years back for other people. But it's very difficult for me to write for other people because I'm very kind of almost, my lyrics are quite cathartic. So they're almost too personal and probably wouldn't relate to, you know, other artists. I'm not very good with throwaway lyrics or anything that doesn't really mean something. So
did you mention George Michael's producer? Was he the producer that did Listen Without Prejudice?
Yes. No, he produced Fast Love. So when George came out with the new image and the Fast Love, he did that, the older album. Yeah.
Right then.
Because Listen Without Prejudice is one of my favourite albums.
Oh, and mine.
I'll tell you what, great padding out that, kids, because we've rebooted, we've got it back on, and I think by the power of magic, Shazam.
The power of Grayskull is ready to go.
I think we are. So back over to you, love. Go on. Give us an intro.
Right, this is Rebekah Ryan. You're listening to Smile Radio, and this is my debut record, You Lift Me Up. And go.
Yes.
I'm Lee from the far north, and you're listening to Rich and a Little Bit of Chris on Smile Radio. And a little bit the far north.
Welcome back to the Rich and a Bit of Chris show. A few technical issues, but it's all part of the fun. All part of the fun of the fair. That takes me back. That takes me back to... What year was that?
90s. Was that 90s?
1996. 96. I believe.
96. Wow.
Summer of Love.
Summer of
Euro
Love.
96.
Eight Ward as well.
It
Yeah.
was, wasn't it?
Is that when we went on Ship of Death, Chris? 96.
I don't know. No, 98.
Was it? Oh,
Funny
right.
enough, I went to watch. I remember going to watch Leeds play Villa at Wembley.
Is it Villa your team?
Was that? No, I don't. To be fair, I don't. I'm not really a football fan, but
Was it a free ticket?
It was a free ticket.
Are you sure you're not from Yorkshire?
From Radio 1 took me. Nicky, what's his name? Who's
Campbell.
DJ.
Nicky Campbell.
That's the one. Nicky Campbell, Radio 1.
He's
Yeah,
on
but-
5 Live now, isn't he?
He loves
Is
it, doesn't
it?
Is it Nicky Campbell
loves
drive
it.
time on a morning?
Probably.
Scottish Nicky Campbell.
he? Yeah.
Yeah, Nicky Campbell, yeah.
Yeah, he's on 5 Live.
You should even get him on Small Radio.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't need Nicky Campbell with you guys anyway, do we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of chances.
To be honest, your song's all right. So how do you feel like listening back to it all the time? Is that why you went for a cig? Because it was a bit cringy for you?
Yeah, it's like,
You don't even smoke?
Really, that many times, like, right, time for a quick fag. Time for a fag break. No, I mean, I think it's a crack. I think it's a great pop song. When I first heard it, because when I first heard the demo of it, there was a bloke singing it. So they sent me the record label, sent me, and I was like, oh, not really feeling that. And my A&R guy was like, no, you just wait, we'll get K-Class on it and blah, blah, blah. Steve Wolf actually is still a very, very good friend of mine. And it was a great A&R man. But he said to me, and we did it, and do you know what? The feedback from, it got something like, I think Just Yours was the first one to play it on Radio 1. And I think it got something like 6 weeks radio play. Capital supported it. And they put it on like the B list. It started on the B list. And then it had I think it was 3 weeks on the A list. So they hammered it, man. They absolutely.
Where did it get in top 40 then?
Exactly. It got to. I think it was 26. It was.
Yeah.
26. Yeah. And it's such a shame because if it had been 2 more positions or like a couple of more positions, I would have been on top of the pops. So I was gutted. Gutted that my lifelong dream I weren't on top of the pops, but it's the reason why it should have been way bigger than that, and there was a mistake with production. So from what I've heard, once again, and people wanted to buy the record, but they couldn't actually get the record. So
So there weren't enough cuts because it'll have been vinyl that time. What? It still?
Well, it was tape and CD, weren't it? And it weren't. I don't think there was much fun about, but it was still about, but not
CD
made.
singles and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, I think.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, DJ Paul Allroyd, who he's featured a few of your tracks on his mixes that he does on a Saturday night for me. I've known Paul for years. We used to play five-a-side together, and obviously, showed him how to go on. Bossed him a bit. But I don't like to brag. But no, he's an absolute sound lad. Is Paul?
Yeah, and I want to say thanks. I want to say thanks to him, man, because he's really played. He's played the tracks. He's played the tracks a few times, man.
Yeah. He's done it. I mean, and bless him. We obviously when we were allowed 30 people in the garden, I'm heavily involved in a charity called the Samantha Sykes Foundation, and when you were talking about monogynism and thank you, yeah. There's patron of the charities, Nazir Afzal, and he was, I don't know if you remember the programme The Three Girls about the Rochdale grooming gang.
Yes, yeah.
Well, Nazir, he was the prosecutor who brought all the your Stuart Halls and all that. Well, he's a patron of the charity and he spoke a few times. So we did a garden party, a bottomless brunch, because without sounding sexist, but the ladies like the Prosecco, don't they? So there were 20 odd women here, and I was the hired hand. I was like Jeeves, running around with my thong on, There's an image. You can have that for free, love. And Paul, bless him, he come and he came from 3 o'clock, and I think he finished at midnight, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was banging. He played some tunes, and and then of course as the prosecco was flowing, they were coming over with glasses and all his gears there, all his decks and everything. So the second word was off to a couple of them because it's my garden. Will you kindly go away, please? Or words to that effect.
Time to leave.
But no, just get off, because we had it on the decking and they just kept me on and they were steaming, bless them. But anyway, and he's absolutely brilliant and I can't wait. He's going to come. So we're in the process of hopefully opening our own live music venue in Huddersfield.
Oh, well, this is what you were saying. Yeah.
So we've agreed the terms of taking it off now. So we're just waiting for the legals to come through. So we're nearly there. So I'm just sorting out the various bits because there's quite a bit of work to do. But yeah, he come and he were brilliant, and he give his time. You know, he were there all that time, and all we had to do was feed him and give him drink, and he were.
Oh.
So Paul, I have actually heard that track, and it just, you know, and I mean this in a nice way, because obviously it's back in '90s, things go by, don't they? And he says, oh, do you remember Rebekah Ryan? And I'm thinking, name rings a bell. No, and name rings a bell. And he goes, X Factor, and I'll be honest. I used to have to watch it with the kids, but I'm not really down with all of that. I'm a bit old school where I like the artist to go out and, you know, I don't begrudge anybody getting some success from it. I really don't.
No, yeah. I totally agree. I just think it's unfortunate that the music industry's changed that much that for a lot of people, you know, the X Factor parade dominated the music scene for quite some time.
Yeah, but I remember.
I think it's quite sad.
I remember you, and I do remember you when you did I did watch it when you did the 6-chair challenge and Sharon.
Oh. Do you know what? I still to this day haven't watched that.
No, but
to this day, I haven't watched it.
I mean, me and Chris were talking off air before we came live, and we were just saying about you know, I wonder what you're allowed to say or about them times. I mean, I
can say what I want.
Good girl. But
I can say exactly what I want.
Realistically, what was it like? Because I always think it's always very cleverly edited and.
So it was the most, and I'm not. I'm a spade to me and tell it exactly how it is. I would never do a program like that if they begged me, ever again. And the reason for it is because they're not going to diss any of the crew and the people that actually work on the program, that work with you on a daily basis. They're there working all the hours God sends. They were amazing, but they're there to do a job. And what you quickly learn is, you know, it's definitely fixed. Once again, it all comes from the Boy Club in London. The artists that go on to the majority of the top 3 or 4 artists that end up making it to the final 4 are already published. They're already on kind of on the path to get a record deal with management companies in London. They're already managed by, you know, successful management firms. So what they do is when they go up and down the country to discover talent, as it is, all they're looking for is stories. They're just casting for stories. They're not casting for talent. They're literally they're like, right, we need a storyline. We need a storyline, a narrative to fill this piece of. Do you get what I mean? When it gets to the final show, then all those stories are gone. So it's all very much about finding stories. So as much as it is, you know, they change. You prepare all your songs. They change it at last minute, so you can't sing them songs. They go, you got to pick a song off here. So you do all your preparation. Then before you're about to go on stage, they're interviewing about your son. You know, your nerves are, you know, you're highly strung when you're getting no sleep. It's very psychological. The other thing that they do is they make you take your bag with you. You have to pack your suitcase every day to take your bag with you. So it's psychological. See what I mean? Oh, so you're like this. Because
you don't get to see any of this, do you? You know, and it is. I've always thought it's very, very cleverly edited. You know, and I remember when we were going to see Oh, that's right. We flew from Heathrow. And we were going to see Marie's brother, the current Mrs. Harrison. We were off to see brother in LA. He lives at Santa Monica, and so there was a guy who worked. I think it was in the duty free. He worked in the duty free. I forgot her name now. Anyway, he was just basically saying he was 45 and he wasn't. I think he was 39, and he was, and he didn't tell him that he worked at the duty free at Heathrow. They completely changed his backstory. Completely changed it, and we were just talking because the girls were buying MAC makeup, you know what I mean, like because I think it's cheaper. It's not that cheaper.
No.
Anyway, but yeah, it's just interesting. I just find all of that, you know, and this is the whole, again, the premise of me setting up Smile Radio with Richie and that, and you know, with Chris, and he's giving unsigned and independent labels a platform for the music to be listened to. And you know, me and Chris, we've got friends who you know, that they can't, what they've said, and I'll quote, they haven't got the time to invest, or they don't want to invest the time in listening to them. They want to jump in the car and listen to something that they know. I said, but how do you think them artists have got there? You know, they've done the bit. But yeah, I love what we do anyway, and haven't we, Chris? We've discovered some fantastic talent.
What you do. It really is. It's fantastic, and I think, you know, there is a well, I can feel a general kind of shift in the industry now. I think there's more and more people that I know that are kind of popping up out the industry and going, actually, do you know what? It's time to do something about you know, the industry and give a platform to independent artists. I was speaking to a friend last week who's got a, you know, similar thing. It's all going to be on YouTube again and TV. Oh God, all I can hear is motorbikes going past. Can you hear them, or is it just me?
Yeah, just slightly. Yeah, I just wondered
what.
Bad
gas, to be honest.
Yeah, I just wondered. I just thought there was something buzzing in your jaw. You know what I'm saying? So you need to turn it off, love. We're live.
But no, as I said, I do think there is a shift. There's a shift coming, which is great, and you know, you guys will be part of that shift, which is amazing.
We can just briefly touch on X Factor. We said, you know, it's all very stage managed. For instance, Ryland couldn't sing. Surely he can't have been the bigger picture. No disrespect to Alan. I mean, I like him as a person. I like what he does. I like his humour. But surely that him being selected and like that Wagner, they're taking people on for a gimmick rather than an actual talent.
But again, that's part of the show. That's part of the show. More people tuned in to watch the people that can't sing than actually tuned in to watch the people that can sing. It became part of the gimmick. It became part of the gimmick of the show, didn't it? You know, and I think actually, if you look back at the success of the X Factor, the more serious it got, the less audience they got. The less audience they actually got. Yeah. You know, because they changed it, didn't they? They changed it a few times where it was less about that, and I think because it was a giggle, wasn't it, watching these people? Yeah. Come on, but if you think about it, those people that were on, you know, some of them would have like, by the time we saw them, they got loads of confidence. They thought they were the bee's knees. They actually thought they were going to win the X Factor. Well, they've gone through 3 auditions to get to that stage. So no wonder they think they're great, because they're thinking, hang on a minute, you've been telling me I'm amazing for the past 3 auditions, and that's why you've put me through. They're not thinking they're being put through to be made a mockery of.
There's some deluded people though, isn't there? Seriously. No. I mean, I've got 2 songs on karaoke, Great Balls of Fire and Sweet Caroline, and that's it. I leave my public wanting more. I don't claim to be any better than I am. There's nowhere on this God's green earth I would go on a singing show, you know, just because I can hold a tune singing Great Balls of Fire. It's not, do you know what I mean? They must be deluded.
Yeah, I think that, but I think that's why they got into a little bit of trouble, because I think they, you know, in terms of mental health.
Yeah, I was going to say that must be the it's a mental health issue. Is that the saying you can do this really?
But that's the other
13 million people watching you saying no, you can't, but I'll keep you in because I like you watching next in the
100%. But I actually don't think they'd allow that, because mental health now is, you know, finally we're actually talking about it, and you know, things are getting. Well, I say things are. People are talking about it. More and more is getting done about it in all across all industries. I don't think that show would be allowed to happen now, like it was initially.
I picked up on and again, I hope you don't mind me mentioning this, because on your bio, you mentioned about your son passing, and for them to say or bring that up as you're just about to go perform, I just think that is one big head. You know.
Yeah, that was the problem, and I think that's where I can't. They interviewed me. You know, it's just, you know, it's all planned. But they interviewed me just before the 6-chair challenge, and they, God, they went into depth. They went, and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe because, you know, I can talk about it, but I'd had enough at that point. I'd had enough. I'd had a week.
I hope you don't mind me bringing that up, by the way, Rebecca.
No,
you know, because I know it's
not at all. Not at all. And do you know what, Paulie? This is sorry, Richard. This is a very different environment. I was absolutely at my wit's end right at that point, you know. And they did break me. I was a nervous wreck, and I wasn't. That 6-chair challenge. I remember standing on the side of the stage, and I wasn't going to go on. I was like, I can't do it. I actually can't do it. I can't do it. I was done. And they were going, no, just go on. And I was like, I can't do it. So I'm not. As I said, going back, I haven't been able to watch that because I knew psychologically where it was, you know. But it's all, you know. It's all experience, isn't it, man? It's all experience.
character building.
Character building, that's what my dad says.
Yeah.
Go character building, man.
Right, shall we break for another song? Let's break for another song.
Do you know what? What I'd like you to play now is, I'd like you to play, if you don't mind, of course. I'd like you to play a tune called Swept Away, which would have been off the album that MCA should have released. So it gives you a little taste of what could have come if it had been a success.
Right, I think we're ready.
Have you got that lined up, Rich? Or do we have
yeah,
to carry on
no, just carry on. I'm just gonna see if this.
Rebecca, you talk about. Is it lined up, Rich? Because I want to ask you a question. That's
Right,
probably
hold that
deserving
thought,
of
Chris. Rebecca, go on.
Hey.
Rebecca.
So this is Swept. This is Swept Away by Rebecca Ryan.
Put your teeth in.
I've been doing some heavy dreaming about you. Night after night, you are the only face I see. Finding myself building my whole world around you. Baby, I know you are the only one for me. 'Cause you fill me up, you shake me down. Oh, baby, can't turn back now. By this wave of passion washing over me, with a sweet surrender of that summer breeze, higher than ever. Whenever we're together, swept away. Took so long for my heart to feel this feeling. Isn't it just like love to take its own sweet time? Being with you is as natural as breathing. I want to thank you for the way I feel inside. You give my heart the wings to fly. Oh, baby, I touch the sky. By this wave of passion washing over me, with a sweet surrender of a summer breeze, higher than ever. Whenever we're together, by this wave of passion washing over me, with a sweet surrender of a summer breeze, higher than ever. Whenever we're together,
Hey, this is Doug.
This is Pat. This is Andy. We are Council, and you are listening to Rich and a Little Bit of Chris show on Smile Radio.
Get that smile.
Get that smile. Welcome back to Rich and a Bit of Chris on Smile Radio. While you're on, Rebecca, you're going to do us a jingle?
A jingle?
Yeah, when you get a chance.
Yeah.
Just like the late 90s power ballad that I can't believe you were only 17 when you sung that song that we just played there.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah,
That's
17.
quite a mature voice, and I mean that in a nice way, by the way.
Yeah, I think.
Would you have felt comfortable back in the day if it had been never released doing that video in a negligee walking on
that
Morecambe Beach?
Well,
I just took you to Caribbean, would there?
Exactly. With some half naked guy in the bed. Yeah, and I wouldn't know if I would
resting his beer gut, just have a.
Well, bedside cabinet.
Yeah, on bedside cabinet going, hey, love. Pass us a can of bodies, love. pass me that Guinness. Oh, I've just done my talk on one sit up as I've got out of bed. Oh, there you go. Right, let's hit the shower. Right, anyway, where were we? Let's get back to your music. Stop being immature.
Like we talked off air, it's very much, and again, this is a compliment rather than your voice is very similar to Dina Carroll. You're in that mould, aren't you? And possibly that could have easily been sang in a band like Eternal or something like that. I mean, if SWV Sisters with Voice would have sang something like that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's not a disrespect for you. I mean, more harmony. I mean, I know nothing about music, I'll be honest. My Spotify list is sketchy at best. But you can see that there was a chance for that to grow. You could have wrote that for somebody else.
100%. Well, I'll have to say I did. At that point, I wasn't writing, so these songs weren't songs that I wrote. I was getting songs from the same camp as with the Whitney Houstons and the Dina Carrolls and the Mariah Careys and the FWV. I was getting these songs through my A&R man, who actually also signed Dina Carroll when he was at A&M Records. So I think Wolfie moved from A&M to MCA, and it was like, right, we need another Dina Carroll. So that's when they discovered me. And that would have been
where did they find you then when they said they discovered you?
I'm part of Gold. I'm part of Gold on the show.
So that was your kickstart then?
That was it, yeah. He was painting his house apparently, and he heard my voice and stopped and went, right, I need to find this girl, and called his mate who became my manager, Brian Harris, and he got in contact with me, and the rest is history. But I actually had four major record deals on the table. I had like four major labels pretty much fighting over signing me, which again, this is when you kind of look back, the whole machine around it, and it was very easy to get carried away with, this was it. I'm going to be a success. I'm going to be a huge star. And that was, so I think that's why when it didn't happen, it knocked me for six, because.
What at a low point then?
What? Say that again. Sorry.
Even though the MCA wasn't letting you do what you wanted to do, when the release was it still a low point? Was it still upsetting?
Yeah, it was.
Even though they were controlling you in a way that you give you no freedom.
Yeah, and also you get a sense of things not happening the way they should be happening. Before I was pretty clued up for my age, and kind of knew that things were going wrong. They kind of try and keep you out of it, but I was always the one asking questions on, hang on, why isn't this happening? Why has the record gone back 8 weeks? Doesn't need to go back 8 weeks. We were putting release dates out there. I remember being on the Boyzone tour, and I should have had a single out when I was doing that tour, because obviously you're out. You want those kids to be able to go and get that record within a week or 2 weeks of seeing you on the Boyzone tour, and they didn't. I think it was about 6 to 8 weeks after they released that second single.
It's gone then, isn't it? It's gone from the subconscious, isn't it?
Exactly. So it's it was just really frustrating. It really
was. Poor management though, ain't it?
Very bad management. That's the one thing I would say. And I'm not. I was managed very, very badly. Very badly. But it's like you just asked me, do I get upset when I listen to those songs? I used to, I don't know, and I very much put it down to the fact that, you know, when I look at what I've achieved in life, even though I haven't had that major success that I would have loved, you know, I've succeeded in so many ways just by getting back on the horse. You know, I haven't stopped or gone anywhere.
I've read your bower. I mean, you've got on a couple of times. You've been kicked off, haven't you, as well?
Yeah.
It's a bit like Buckaroo, you know. We'll mix your bag and you're going all off. But I mean, I mean, you've done the cruise ships, haven't you, as well?
I did the cruise ship.
And how did you? Can I ask you a question? Because Richard worked on cruise ships as a bartender.
Oh, did you, Rich?
Yeah. I was Princess Cruises. I was Princess Cruises babe magnet. Yeah.
Sorry, did you give yourself that? I heard that right then, didn't I?
Yeah. Nobody else believed it. Obviously, they couldn't see what I saw.
That's the first time I've heard that label for quite. Princess Cruises babe magnet.
Yeah, in my little world, Chris. Yeah. I walk around thinking, I like the Hoff. I like the Hoff off Baywatch. But no, I believe.
Appropriate chest there and speedos.
Yeah, with S missing.
And what can I say? A Rebekah Ryan mullet that you'll walk because he likes a good top to him as Knight Rider. Might start calling you Michael Knighton. Have you got a car that you talk to?
I talk to myself. Never mind car.
What about Rebekah and her mullet? You've never had a mullet cocker. I think you should rock a mullet, Rich.
Yeah.
Rock a mullet.
Princess Cruises, I only did a couple of contracts, but I was very fortunate. I got all over, travelled all over. The night were good. Good. As a single person, it was really good times.
Oh, Christ. Oh, God, yeah.
Good vibes.
Yeah. You can't spend your money. You know,
No,
you earn that much money on there.
I earned some good money. I earned some really good money.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, Crossy, even I got lucky. You know what I mean?
I can't
Where you learn all your skills.
Yeah. Just, it's amazing, isn't it, what half an Heineken
What
does.
did you say, Rebekah? You've got to show all your skills, his repertoire.
I said that's where he learned all his skills.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, right, let's think about it. You know, you ever seen them kids that can only do 3 kick-ups? That's his repertoire of skills. And
Chris,
he kicks ball too far.
Right, I'll tell you a story. Right, Chris was a brilliant wingman. Before, like when we used to go out on that, because I've got a memory like a sieve, and I kid you not. Right, I used to say, right, Chris, I need you to remember this number. And like, you know, and this is before mobile phones, by the way. Do you know what I mean? And how many digits were there? 6 digits in the normal phone number. Yeah. That's how thick I was. Anyway, Chris, right, remember this number. And full as a gun, absolutely full as a gun. And I'd ring him next day. Chris, can you remember that number? And he'd just reel it off. And then they say, oh, I can't believe that you remember that. Of course I remember it. Why wouldn't I? If they only knew.
Me, sad, spotty 18-year-old psychic.
Walking Filofax.
Come on, Stato, remember this number.
Yeah.
While I was sat in corner reciting poetry and drinking Chablis.
With his smoking jacket and cravat on. Yeah. With his pipe.
Like a little Teddy Thomas. Ding dong.
Well, hello. Anyway.
So, can I ask you, Rebekah, you're a songwriter. You wrote, which song do you wish you'd wrote that's been played?
That's a good one.
If there were one song that you thought, oh, I wish I'd have wrote that bugger.
Mine would be You're the One for Me, Fatty by The Smith.
I've got a few actually. I've got the one that I always is there's an artist called Jason Mraz, and he's written a few songs that I wish I'd written. What's the one? The main one. It's called Details in the Fabric by Jason Mraz, and it's just stunning. He does a duet with, who was that singer from Northampton? He's disappeared now. That did
Oh, Coffee Dennett. You mean Cheeky Girl?
No, the guy.
That was a duet.
That's what I wish. The ketchup song. There you go.
What's it called? Details for the Fabric.
It's called The Details in the Fabric. Yeah, by Jason Mraz.
From Northampton?
No, he's not from Northampton. I'm going to have to shut this window, fellas. Hang on. All I've got is I feel like I'm in Italy with all the scoots.
Oh, that's it. Good radio, that. Great radio, that, love. Yeah. Well, just felt dead air. Don't you worry, love.
How big's the house? She's
Yeah.
been on it just to shut. Oh, you're back.
Oh, she's been to West Wing, hasn't she? She's been to West Wing to shut windows.
How big's your house, Rebecca? You're still creaming royalties to pay for the mortgage on Palace.
I wish. But do you know what? I get anything by, God, I will always love you. God, imagine.
That was Dolly Parton who wrote that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those royalties lasted for life. Even if she just wrote that one song.
Yeah.
Just that.
Well, look at Noddy Holden with his song with royalties he makes on that one bloody song for Slade at Christmas. He makes a fortune, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a pain in the bum now, innit?
I know, but I'd live with that pain in the bum though, wouldn't it? Wouldn't you? Every year, few hundred grand a year.
They're not earning that anymore, are they?
No, but it's still not bad, is it? Keeps you in beer and biscuits, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think he
You've
gets
been stung
something
on your
like,
leg, Rich.
I think he gets.
I've been bitten.
Doesn't Mariah Carey, who wrote that All I Want for Christmas? I think she earns like $100,000 a year just off that one song, just on in that month of radio play. Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
She's not short of a bob or two, though, is she?
No, she's not. Loves a red wine, though. My kind of woman.
Are you a red winer?
I love my red. I love anything that's got alcohol in it. To be fair, I ain't gonna lie. I'm Irish. That's what we do.
Right, we're going to break for another song, but before we do, I want you to I want to talk to you more about your little social enterprise that you're running now. Because I just think for our listeners, it's fantastic what you're going to do.
Thank you.
I'd love to get more involved if anything that we can do to help support and do whatever. So, give us your next track. What do you want us to play?
So the next song is, again, it was the last song that I recorded at MCA, and I'm going to play it at the end. Well, I'll play the new stuff, but this is the last song that I recorded at MCA, and it was called "Just Can't Learn to Say Goodbye." And this was when I was kind of veering towards becoming more who I was as an artist, a little bit more soulful, a little bit more mature, and just a bit deeper than just pop. So yeah, take a listen to it, but it's a good song. It's called "Just Can't Learn to Say Goodbye."
Listen to Rich and a little bit of Chris and our very special guest, Rebekah Ryan, live on Smile Radio.
Full moon candlelight, casting shadows across the room. Sitting on my own, watching reruns of my memories. Food on the table as I play a favorite record to set the mood. Can't help thinking about the way things used to be. So many times I've tried to leave our past behind me, but it's in vain. My heart won't let you go. You were the only one who really understood where I was coming from. How can I find a way to let you know? I can fly across the ocean 30,000 feet above the sky. I can make a little love and bring another baby into life. I can even find the strength to keep a secret to the day I die. But I just can't learn to say goodbye. Press rewind, take me to a time when we didn't give a damn. Sing along to Rufus, stay up on that roof, the life will lay. Responsibility, what's it really mean? Doesn't matter in the end. Even though I'm here right now, I wish I was there again. secret to the day I die. But I just can't learn to say goodbye.
You're listening to Rich and a little bit of Chris on Smile Radio.
I have to say, that is a tune. I've not listened to that. I know you sent me the stuff across, but I've listened. Obviously, I've heard some of your other, more dance and house stuff.
Yeah.
But that's beautiful. Do you know what it reminds me of? And I hope I don't offend you by this, but it reminds me a little bit of All Saints.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was way before All Saints.
Yeah, I know, but I know you before, but
Yeah.
I think they've robbed you of your sound.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's now we're, the reason why I wanted to send you those is because it's going to lead into nicely what kind of where I want to go with the album that I'm going to do. I'm going to work with Elliot Kennedy, who worked with Take That, and Gary still works with Gary Barlow. He's a great songwriter in his own right, and he's got his own music out right now, as well as an artist. But it kind of leads into nicely me kind of explaining what I want to do with my new album, because I kind of want to make the album that I should have released at MCA.
Yeah.
Because I think I was robbed of that opportunity, and I think that actually there is a little bit of a fan base still there, certainly in Scotland, where most of my records were hugely successful, more than the UK. So I kind of want to tap back into that and kind of say, look, this is the album that should have been,
Yeah.
and it will be of that kind of genre. It will be of that kind of genre. I've got some songs. The only reason I couldn't send you the new stuff is because a lot of the stuff is still in demo form.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
When's the album going to drop?
I'm hoping, I've got a meeting with Elliot next week, and I'm hoping that we can schedule some time to start recording pretty soon. So it's either going to be start releasing at the tail end of this year or the beginning of next. And do it literally like a 3 singles or 4 singles and then drop an album. But I just want it to be a kind of, I think before I die, which might be soon with everything that's going on.
Well, let's not hope not. Not till 6 o'clock anyway. We've still got another half an hour yet. I know that might sound a bit selfish.
I don't know if you guys like this, but I'm like, for me, I'm just like, I'm ticking the bucket list. You know what I mean? I'm like, do you know what? Just do what you were put on this earth to do, and whether I earn from it it's irrelevant to me. I don't give a hoot. It's more about me.
Do you have a normal job?
Well, I've been at university for 3 years, so I've just got a job. I start on the 15th of June. I start my new job, but I'm going to go back to uni to get my PGCE, which is my teaching qualification, which leads into what I'm doing with the kids and the charity that you were talking about, Rich.
The social enterprise, yeah.
The
So
social
tell us all about that. Come on.
Yeah, so I've set up a social enterprise, which it's a CIC, which is a community interest company, called My Town Records, which teaches kids between the ages of 13 to 17 how to start their own record labels. And it's kind of old school meets new school. It's all encompassing. So we're not just gonna. I don't want to stage school. I don't want kids you know, if I, you know, I don't sing, you don't have to sing. What else you good at? You know, well, you know, there'll be a chatty kid, and he'll have your job, Rich, or your job, Chris. You know, let's get him on the radio. Let's teach these kids how to promote artists, how to make live events.
Can you teach us?
Yeah. This is what I want you guys to come on board, to teach them how to do what you're doing, because I think it's really going to be.
You're not asking us.
I think it's the future.
Yeah,
I think
do you really know what you're
it's the
asking for,
future.
Rebecca?
For a couple of chances.
Great.
Couple of chances.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to pull in all my friends in the music industry from all you know, from the live events to promotion to radio, podcast, videography, everything. The full gamut of services that a record label would offer, we're going to be doing, but the kids are going to do it themselves. You know, they're going to literally be given a free rein.
I'm serious, and I genuinely mean this. If there's anything that we can do, because it all
knowledge.
well,
style.
Don't look for me. No, I tell you, and I'm being serious now. And all of my friends and all the people that I know, Chris, and I'm not just saying it because he's here, he's probably one of the most intelligent people I know, and his knowledge is vast, and he's very, very modest if it comes to. And I'm not just saying it. He is. He's got a mind like a planet. He retains so much information, and he's.
Trying to say with a massive head.
No, you've got that too.
You look like you've got a massive head at the minute, anyway, Chris, because you're like this at the screen.
No, I don't. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
You've got your mic. You need to turn your mic up as well. You need to turn your mic up. But no, in all seriousness, because that is something that I want to get involved with, and again with the Samantha Sykes, there's loads of stuff that we can do, because it's all about care leavers, and it's all about, unfortunately, children are being victims of child sexual exploitation, and you know. And
do you know what the problem is, Rich, is that if kids are vulnerable and they're on the street and they've got nothing to do and they know where to go, that they are vulnerable and they will be subjected to crime and people, you know, organised crime, people that use these kids to go and do things that they shouldn't want.
That's pandemic throughout the country, and it's unfortunately it's today's society that we live in.
Yeah, it's sad. It's very sad. Unless we as a community, you know, because my idea eventually, I've got to start small. I need to nail it in my own hometown, and then fingers crossed with funding. And if we can prove our worth in this location, I'd like to then take it into towns up and down the UK and create exactly the same thing.
Do you live in a big city?
No, I live in Tamworth. I live in my hometown where I was born.
It's Staffordshire then, yeah? Is it Staffordshire?
Staffordshire, yeah. I lived in London for a few years, and I lived in Los Angeles for a bit, and then I came back. And you know what? It's you don't have to live in the cities these days. I don't.
No, but that, I mean, again.
But you're quite fortunate living in Tamworth. You're central England, so you've got Birmingham, Leicester, Nottingham, Derby, all within, 35 minutes, an hour away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can, like you say, you can bed your model in Tamworth.
That's it.
And then you're not travelling far and wide.
That's it. That's the plan.
The part, and again, if you've got any kids who want to get involved, because we're an online station, you don't need to come up to God's County, Yorkshire,
No.
Do you know what I mean? So,
no.
But definitely.
And you know what? Kids are more aware of technology. Where
they're more tech savvy.
Oh God,
than we ever have been. You know, they'll probably end up teaching me stuff that I don't know. You know, give me TikTok, and I'm like, what?
I know my daughter set our TikTok up for the station, and I think we've only got about 60 followers. I just don't do enough on the social media stuff. You know,
do you know what, then, mate? It's hard work because there's that many of them about now.
To be fair, if they could put Jake Thackeray on TikTok, I'd do a couple little TikToks to Jake Thackeray tracks and that. But I can't even dance. So if Jake Thackeray's got one, God rest his soul, about some bloke in a wheelchair singing about the la-di-da, I'm all over it.
I don't know. Back in the day in Buzzbar in Wakey, you could bust some moves, Chris, with a Smirnoff mule down you.
Yeah, me hips out like Shakira says they never would. They're telling me some arm truth.
The hips don't lie, Chris.
Oh God, I know. God.
Right, on that bombshell, Are we playing some of your new stuff?
To move like Jagger.
Yeah. Are we going to play some of your new stuff, or what do you want us to do now?
So this will be possibly, I think, the first release.
Wait, hold on, just give me an heads up, because I'm trying to find, which one is it?
It's The Feeling.
Feeling. Right, keep talking.
Yeah.
I've got it.
I have. I've got it.
You can tell when he says keep talking.
This is kind of pays homage to the 90s dance scene. So yeah, this I think will be the first single from the album, and starting with the dance music and then going into kind of the more serious stuff later on.
Let's have it. Come on, Rebekah, do my job.
This is The Feeling by Rebekah Ryan.
And this is going to be on your first track on your new album, yeah?
Yeah, first track on the new album, yeah.
Let's have it. Play it loud.
Be tripping, about to lose control. I surrender to the group that's in my soul. Heart racing, and I don't feel no fear. I'm coming up, let me explode into your atmosphere. Creating your own world as we fly into the night. Now I'm rushing, got me rushing. You got me, you got me, you got me. You take me high, you take me high, you take me, oh, 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 oh. You take me high, you take me high, you take me, oh, 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 oh. I'm free falling, I knew it was heaven day. Your music's got me painting pictures only I can see. We're wasted, our hearts are running free. I'm dream tripping, won't you let me be our fantasy? Lining up my world like the drug that takes you higher. Now I'm rushing, got me rushing. You got me, 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 You take me high, you take me high, you take me, oh, 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 oh. You take me high, you take me high, you take me, oh, 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 oh.
Hi, it's Matt from Apollo Junction here, and you're listening to Rich and a little bit of Chris's show on Smile Radio.
Welcome back. Now that took me right back.
Back.
Right back.
I think that's the point.
Oh.
That's what.
Tune.
That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do with the new stuff. It's obviously, as I said, the stuff that I played earlier was kind of really just going through my career and where I'm, where I got to, and now I'm older. I kind of think, do you know what? I need to go back.
Question for you then.
Yes.
If you do a video for that song, are you fit enough to do the gyrating?
No, I'm not going to be in it. No, I'm going to get an actress.
And who would play you?
Do you need me in that negligee with my junior bagel resting over my waistband?
It'd be like that Eric Prince video when they're all doing yoga.
That's exactly what we've got to do. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go and film a rave,
To be fair though, because his only movement were his hips, wasn't it? A lot of balls.
Was he actually in that? I thought it was. Was he actually? What was he actually in it?
Yeah, with that bloke that just
With the
sort of
front.
stood with his hips really, really wrongly. All lasses were going through the Pilates regime, and he's just stood there.
Yeah, well, that Jane Fonda workout, wasn't it?
To be fair, though, I watched that. I like that song just for the video, I'll be honest.
Who didn't?
And I used to like bear watching Gladiators. And not for Mitch Buchanan or John Fashionable.
What did you just say then?
Bay watching Gladiators.
Bay watching
I was 18-year-old.
Did I just say that? Did I just hear that?
Yeah.
It was like Bay watching Gladiators.
Yeah, with the lycra and camel toes. Anyway.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, camel toe. That old chestnut.
Yeah. God, we're having a laugh. Or is it just me?
No, it's been absolutely brilliant. I mean, I know you said it was kind of very casual, but it's lovely. You know, I think that's how radio should be. And I think the best radio shows are like that. You know.
Can I just ask you a question? You know, there's a strange bloke that keeps walking past it corner of your phone.
My phone.
It's showing your laptop out.
I want to do it whatever now and then he walks past.
Yeah.
No, that's the hired hand. That's a butler.
Oh,
he's just cleaning the East Wing. She's run down to close window at West Wing. He's just coming back from East Wing. So, right, I'm going to ask you a question. Once we're up and running, because Paul, bless him, he's going to be, hopefully, I want him to be our resident DJ. So, would you come and do some live stuff?
I'd love to, absolutely be honest. I'd love to.
Would you come up?
I'd love to. Yes.
An acoustic set of your old stuff and your new stuff.
Oh, we need some beat. We need some.
I know, but can I ask you? Sometimes some of them songs deserve to be played stripped bare. Apart from the homage to the 90s, that needs to be technoed up to the max.
I'm sure we'll be able to do something. But it depends what kind. I mean, what's the venue going to be like? Is it going to be? There's
going to be curtains in background and stuff like that.
Speakers and a mic.
Yeah, there you go. But no, hopefully once all this madness is over, we should be able to host between 500 and 700 people. So it's going to be a decent venue.
That'd be amazing. I'd love to. Yeah, I'd absolutely love to.
But yeah, and anything that's going on, But once we're up and running, and like I said, we're gonna do all sorts. The whole premise of it, I want to get some original bands, you know, some from our era, you know, and I want them to come and perform. But I want them to the warm up acts. I want them to be unsigned and independent. And I genuinely mean this. I really don't care who they are. If they're not willing to get behind the unsigned and independent acts, they're not going to be performing at my venue. So. And I'm adamant about that. I don't care who they are. It could be Liam Gallagher, you know, you allegedly had relations with. But I'm just kidding.
So it's not going to be frost if you both want stern bill, is it?
Oh God, can you imagine?
Oh
God, can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Yeah,
cut atmosphere.
It was a bad fallout. It was a bad fallout. Chris. It was a bad fallout.
Oh, you could cut the atmosphere with a knife. There's LG on the other side. There's RR on other. Oh my God.
It's all going to kick off.
Bottles were flying. Bottles were flying.
Yeah, looking at daggers at him. Yeah, you know what you said, bastard.
And then that song "Murder on the Dance Floor" comes on, and they're all busted them out.
Yeah, kicking off. It's all kicking off, alarming.
Who sang that? There's "Murder on the Dance Floor." You better not steal my groove.
Sophie Alice Bextor.
Pretty green coat on. It'll be 300 degrees, but he'll still have a coat on inside.
Sophie Alice Bextor. She's really good live.
She's great.
We've been to. I've took my kids and my family. We've all done Carfest. You know, Chris Evans' Children in Need thing.
Yeah.
We've been 3 or 4 times, and the bands that they've seen, and I've introduced my youngest. She's only 13, to all sorts of different music, not just Bieber, because he's banned in our house. But
we were allowed to stop Bieber being played in your house, and they actually listened to that.
No, please talk. No, please, really. Rebecca. No. Because do you know what? I'd just end the Zoom call right now if you said yeah. I'm just going. Sorry, technical issues. She's gone.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's awful. It's awful because I do find myself sounding like my dad the older I get. Like, oh, that crap, that rubbish. You know, when you hear something that's on radio, turn it off. Rubbish. And I don't mean to, I just think I've always been very open with the music. I love all kinds of music.
Yeah.
But I just find it all sounds the same now, And again, I also think that the messages to the kids and a lot of the music that's out there, it's like, whoa, they wouldn't play me on MTV because I had a bikini on and I was kissing a guy and it was a bit hot, and yet now anything goes,
Yeah.
But that's when I just think, oh God, am I getting old, or do we need to do something about this?
I mean, I didn't even know watermelon sugar had another meaning till my daughter told me.
Does it?
Yeah, I can't say it on air.
Oh, see, now you tell me. And I just say, now I'm going to listen to that. I'm going to Google as soon as I get off this conversation and find out what melon sugar.
My daughter told me.
Oh, God,
I don't mind Harry Styles. I quite like him.
I love that song.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Literally, we've only got 10 minutes left, Rebecca. So what we're playing next? So let's play another song, and Chris can tell you what watermelon sugar means off air.
I don't know what song. I don't know what I sent you.
Well, we've got all sorts, right? I'll tell you what I've got lined up. We've got. You think you've got the right? If only they knew.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, let's play. Let's play a track called "If You Only Knew."
Right then. Let's
Which
do it.
also might be on the album, but I've got to figure it out. But yeah, if you only knew.
Are you going to send me and Chris a signed copy of your album when it's released?
Yeah.
Big love art and that, and saying big love art.
I've got the worst signature in the world, so I'll have to. Yeah, I've got the
It's
worst.
all right.
You're going to put sweets in it, I'll have Parma Violets.
Parma Violets.
No, you just put them love arts in for me. I like them love
It
arts.
just tastes like perfume.
Well, this is nicely leading on to what watermelon.
Right. Anyway, if they only knew, is that what we're playing? Is that what we're playing?
If you only knew. Yeah.
This is Rebekah Ryan. It might be on the album. We don't know yet. She hasn't decided.
Yeah, we don't know.
We
It's up in air. She hasn't made her mind up.
Yes, it's fine. You know what day it is? What you got mouth open like that for, love? Hey, wait for the bus.
There's a puppy at my window. There's a puppy at my window.
A what?
Sorry.
A puppy.
Somebody's just shown me a puppy through my window.
No, that's wrong on every level. I'm going to take that somewhere else. But anyway, I'm going to play the song. We're right back after this.
All right.
Get your puppies out.
I should have seen it coming out. I just can't control in my heart. Went across the line and it won't come back this time. If you were meant to be a shoulder lent to me, then why do I imagine your body in my hands? You out completely consumed. I've been deeply. It's true. It's true. If you only knew, you got me losing my head.
I love that as well. I don't think there's. I mean, some of the songs I've already known, but these I've not listened to. Liking it.
Thank you.
She's not bad, is she, Rich?
Not bad. Not bad.
not bad.
I just think I've got to figure out what, you know, in terms of, because I'm not A&Rs, I've just got to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And because I think from I don't know what you think, but an album does have to have some kind of cohesiveness. Yeah, exactly. So it's, you know, there are great songs.
There's got to be a flow.
It's got to be a flow to it, yeah. That's absolutely. So I'm hoping that as I start writing more and more, certainly with Elliot and whoever else I work with, we'll find this.
Most albums, it feels like they're telling a story in a different tune. You know, it seems. I mean, some of the best albums I've ever heard, it has a similar theme all the way through, but a variation on the theme musicality wise.
I agree. Yeah, right. I totally agree. And I'm also. I don't know what you guys think. I'll put it out there to you, but I've always been a little bit like, well, can't an album have variety? You know, does it have to be of one genre and that's the way it's? Surely the artist. Yeah, I agree with that. So thanks for that, Chris, because I agree.
If you, I mean, you've just dropped your 90s homage. Then there's that one that seems more relevant. Who says you couldn't throw a mucky R&B in or a dirty Southern blues type thing?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. There aren't any rules these days. There's certainly when you're doing your own album, but I just think it is all got to be relevant to the message. What you've just said, the story and the message that you're putting out there. I think is
Rebecca.
I mean,
Chris,
the story doesn't have to be.
Sorry guys, I'm really sorry, but we're nearly out of time. We could, but we'll carry on this chat after we finish. But I think we need to tell us the last song we're going to play. And how the guys can get in touch with you, you know, with your social enterprise and stuff, what they can do. I mean, obviously they can contact us through Smile Radio, but if they want to contact you direct, how can they do that?
Yeah, contact me through Rebekah on Music, first of all. I've also got My Town Records, which is now on Facebook. They're the links on Facebook, so contact me there for anything. And I'll answer all your questions and get in contact, guys. I want to say thank you guys for having me on, mate. Really, really appreciate it. No,
we've loved it. We loved it, and you're welcome again. You need to come on again because there's so much stuff that is going on, and there's so much music that you've done, and you've just had a laugh with it, and we love that. We love that. We don't take ourselves serious. So give us a song. So I don't go anywhere after, from Zoom if you're on it for a few minutes afterwards. So tell me, what song should we finish off with?
Okay, I'd like to finish off with a song called You Think You've Got the Right, which again is a complete variation of what I've just played you. But this was the first song that I wrote on my second record deal, which was Jive, and it was released in 2000. It's called You Think You've Got the Right. Right
then, so don't forget, if you've missed this show or any other show, you can go to our website, www.smileradio.co/on-demand. You can listen again for free, or you can download the podcast for £1. And we get 62 pence for every download. Because we're never going to be rich from it, but anyway. So every little helps. And don't forget, if you want to listen to the shows coming up after us, we've got the Colonel Backer show at 6 till 7, 7 till 8. We've got the JJ Kane, quite great radio show. And then the Indie Artist playlist coming on from 8 till 10. And then we've got the Punk and the Princess, 10 p.m. till 12 a.m. And don't forget, in the morning, we've got Be Kind to Your Mind with Narelle Summers. And we've got Nathan Downs coming on, and he is as mad as a fish. So thanks again. You take care, Rebecca. Chris, as always, it's been emotional. And thanks, everybody.
It's been a pleasure meeting you, Rebecca. Lovely meeting you.
And you, mate. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Album, and when it drops, let us know. But I really like your music, honestly.
Yeah, and don't forget, everybody, give us 3 rings when you get him.
You think you got the brains to confuse me. You think you got the rank to accuse me. You think you got the tools to unscrew me. Well, you don't. You don't.